tell you where the fish are.
Triple! Get in there!
Tell you where the
Ooh, that's a
fish
nice
are.
fish.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you where the fish are.
Woo!
Make it clear.
Now that is a nice, wild Rogue River Springer, buddy.
Hey guys, we just got done fishing on the Upper Rogue today, doing a little Springer fishing. We had a great day out there. We got lucky and got one hatchery keeper. We released a bunch of wild fish. The hatchery that we got to keep was full of eggs. That's what we're using today. We're out there back bouncing the salmon eggs that we cured up in some Pautzke fire cure. I'm fishing eggs this time of year. The water up here is really cold, so the fish aren't as aggressive. They're gonna be on a quick fish bite. They really like the eggs though. That's what we were doing today. Caught all of our fish back bouncing the Pautzke red eggs, and they worked well. What I'm gonna show you, since we got a hatchery hen, is how to cure up some eggs really easily. You got your eggs that you just pulled out of the fish here. You can see there's a little bit of blood, a little bit of skein line here. What I'm gonna do, first off, is cut off all this extra skein. If you don't cut that off, when it gets in the water, it just gives you that white skein look. There's no eggs to it, so it's completely useless. And you want to remove it. Just like that. Then what we take, you can use the back side of your scissors or a spoon, whatever you got handy. You just want to work this blood out of the eggs. The big key to this is you want these eggs to be as blood-free as possible. That's what's going to spoil the easiest, and the cure is not going to really fix that problem. So you want to get all this blood out of here, have a nice towel, and dab it as you're working it out. You just use the back side of your scissors and just work it out nice and easy out of those eggs there. Then the next step is you're going to butterfly your eggs. You want to open these skeins up. You can see how they're nice and folded. You just want to open them up, and that's going to give your cure as much access to these eggs as possible so that it gets down in there and every egg gets some of the cure. There you go, and you can see once you butterfly it out, it lays nice and flat. The eggs aren't all bunched up there. There we go, we've got both of our skeins butterflied open. I flip them over so that the skein side is up. Then I take my cure. Got the Pautzke's fire cure that we've been using. In here I've got a mix that I've already pre-mixed. I've got 1 bottle of red, 1 bottle of pink, and 1 bottle of the Pautzke Firepower, which is just powdered krill. Up here on the Rogue and in most of the rivers here in the Northwest, krill is the salmon's main feed out in the ocean, so they really key in on this krill. That's what makes the fire cure a great cure, and just adding that extra krill makes it even better. When you mix them together, put them in a Ziploc bag, mix both cures and that firepower together, mix it up real nice so you've got an even distribution of the product, and then you can put it right back into the bottles that you used. What we're going to do here is just a nice layer of cure on the skeins on top. Make sure you get both of them, and you want to get nice light coverage throughout the whole skein. There we go. What I'm going to do is just rub this cure into the skeins here. We're going to do the same on this side. Nice even light coverage throughout the whole skein. Make sure you're getting all those eggs. Once you got them covered, an important step is you want to work this cure into the eggs, make sure every egg is getting covered. So I just take my fingers and massage it in there, and you'll see all those eggs turn in a nice pink color. This really helps make sure that every egg gets cure on it, and that way some eggs don't have a lot, some have none. You get nice even coverage, and your eggs are going to turn out really well. There we go. Then you've got your skein there, all covered in cure. Take either a Ziploc bag or a quart jar, canning jar, and you just toss them in there. I'm gonna do the same with this one. I'm gonna massage all that cure into the eggs. There we go, it's looking good. Throw it in my Ziploc. So if you got your eggs in your Ziploc, just close it, or if you're using a jar, just put the lid on there. What you want to do is massage them. Make sure you've still got all that cure getting covered in there. And then what I like to do is I'll leave them at room temperature for 2 hours. About every 15 minutes if you can, just toss it. Make sure you stir them up, get that cure working. As they sit here, they're gonna really juice out. After about 15 minutes, half hour, there's gonna be liquid covering all your eggs. You still wanna keep tossing them. Make sure to stir them up every 15 minutes for those first 2 hours. Once you hit the 2 hours, if you're using a Ziploc, you just wanna open it up and you wanna try and get as much of that air out of there as possible. All I do is roll it up and then close it. If you're using a quart jar, you can just leave it as is. What I do, so it's sat at room temperature for 2 hours, throw it in the fridge. Make sure, just kind of keep track of how you lay them in there. If it's a quart jar, it's easy. If it's a Ziploc, just make sure you kind of keep track of which side's down. And then I like to flip them every 4 to 8 hours if you can. So you take it out, all you do, you don't even have to stir them up, just flip them over, and that'll let that juice get down and get to those eggs that were on top. So they're now on the bottom. Mix them, turn them every 4 to 8 hours for at least probably the first 24 hours. After that, they're good to fish. It's that simple. What we've got here is the finished product. After they've sat in the fridge for a good 24, 36 hours, I take them out the night before I fish and I cut them up into bait-sized chunks. You can do large, small, whatever you're wanting to fish the next day. I cut them up into bait-sized chunks like this. I toss them into a Tupperware container. This year, tuna's been a hot scent, so I add a whole can of tuna. The key to that is make sure it's tuna canned in vegetable oil. You don't want the tuna in water. Throw that whole tuna in there. Once again, I use the Pautzke Firepower here. I give it a nice sprinkle on top, and then I mix that tuna and the Firepower all throughout the eggs. Throw them back in your fridge, and by the next morning, they're perfect.